Hey guys, it's Maddie from Let's Eat Plants, and today we are going to try making 2-ingredient gluten-free tortillas. Today's recipe comes from Ela Vegan, and I actually only found her Instagram account pretty recently, and I've just been drooling over her pictures for the last few weeks. Her recipes look amazing, but I haven't actually made one of her recipes yet. Recently, she posted a photo on her Instagram with some amazing looking quesadillas. And on this photo, she said that she used her recipe for the gluten-free tortillas. This recipe only uses 2 ingredients, not including salt and water, and those are chickpea flour and tapioca starch. Now, if you've seen my recent videos, you'll know that I've actually been trying to use up my chickpea flour. So when I saw that as one of the ingredients, I was like, hey, this recipe is pretty perfect. Tapioca starch I also already had in my cupboard, and of course, water and salt are pretty standard. I had those as well. Now, I did do a video about a year ago making a chickpea flour crepe, which kind of turned into a wrap. But the difference between that one and today's recipe is the tapioca starch. Now, in that video, I was not the biggest fan of the flavor of the chickpea flour. So I'm very curious to see, will adding tapioca flour not only change the consistency of the tortilla, but will it also change the flavor at all and make it less chickpea flour tasting? For those of you not familiar with tapioca starch, it is also called tapioca flour, and it basically just looks like flour, or kind of like powdered sugar, really. So I got mine from a bulk store, but I'm pretty sure it's easy to find on Amazon nowadays, and I think it's also pretty easy to find in regular grocery stores. It's becoming pretty common. Tapioca flour is actually made from cassava, and it's essentially just used to thicken things. I've seen it a lot more nowadays in gluten-free recipes and also in a lot of vegan recipes. I personally use it a lot in my vegan cheese sauce because it gives it like a thickened, stretchy consistency, if that makes any sense. So that's what we're making today. I'm very excited. My first time trying out an Ela Vegan recipe. And with that, let's get started. For today's recipe, all we're going to need is 1 cup of chickpea flour. This is the last of my chickpea flour. I have finally used it up. I've been saying I need to use it up, and now this is the end. So I'm probably gonna end up buying more because that's what happens. I find an ingredient that I haven't used in years, I find a recipe that I like for it, and then I end up buying more of that ingredient. Does anyone else do that? No, just me? Okay. 1 cup of chickpea flour, 1/2 cup of tapioca starch, and 1/3 teaspoon salt. The recipe says you can use anywhere from 3/4 cup to 1 cup of water. The more water you use, the thinner your tortilla will be. So I'm using 1 cup to hopefully get a pretty thin tortilla. Our batter is ready to go. If you have not worked with chickpea flour before, please know it will smell strange when it's uncooked and also taste strange, like really don't taste it. So if it smells a little bit strange to you, don't worry about it. It will definitely change after it's cooked. First tortilla is done. It looks kind of pale. I'm wondering if I did not cook it long enough. And also you can see where I lifted it up halfway through the cooking, and then this side never went back down as flat to the pan, so it didn't get cooked as thoroughly as the other side. But this side looks pretty decent. I do feel it's kind of thicker and less flexible than I thought it would be. But anyway, let's taste it because we all know that's what really matters. It's good. There is a lot less chickpea flour taste than a plain chickpea flour crepe. Still not a lot of flavor overall, but it is a good blank canvas. I'm gonna add some garlic powder to the rest of my batter and see if we can get a little bit of an improved flavor. I mean, I feel like these are kind of looking more like crepes than like tortillas, but nevertheless, here it is. Now for this one, I added about 1/4 cup more water and also a little bit of garlic powder. So let's see if it tastes any different. Good improvement with the garlic powder. I mean, I'm still not seeing a lot of flexibility. I do feel like the crispy edges are kind of what makes this tortilla delicious. And yet, if you have crispy edges, you're not gonna be able to fold it into like a burrito shape as easily. So keep that in mind when you're making these. I think they might be better suited as a crepe, or like in Ela's recipe that she showed on Instagram, she used it for a quesadilla, which also looked really good. But folding these into a burrito would probably be pretty difficult. Gotta say that they are more flexible than I originally thought they would be. And if you cook it on a lower temperature, you will be able to get one that folds quite nicely into whatever shape you like. So just to compare, we have low heat and high heat. You can see in the flexibility that the low heat is a lot more flexible and the high heat is a lot stiffer, more like a crepe. So if you're looking for a more flexible tortilla kind of consistency, then you're gonna wanna cook it on low heat. And if you're looking for more of a crepe-like texture, then you're gonna wanna cook it on high heat and wait till it gets crispy before you flip it. All right, let's try out our little veggie taco kind of situation here. I don't know, it's kind of just like a crepe with some vegan cheese sauce and some vegetables. So even though it was supposed to be like a flexible, regular tortilla, I actually feel like getting the edges crispy and making it more like a crepe is really the way to go. You can still fold it in half and use it like a taco. You may not be able to fold it into a burrito shape, but having these crispy edges definitely makes it more delicious. Just my opinion though. So my overall thoughts on this recipe. I actually was quite surprised that using the tapioca starch did not really change the texture of the tortilla compared to just using only chickpea flour. However, in terms of taste, I do feel that the tapioca starch made a really big difference. There is much less of a chickpea flour taste, which in my personal opinion makes it better. When I've made the chickpea flour crepes in the past, I wasn't really a fan of the chickpea flour taste, and that's prevented me from making them again. My personal tip would be to add a little bit of spice or seasoning depending on what flavor you like, because as a blank canvas, they're great, but I do feel that they were quite a bit better when I added the garlic powder. So just use whatever seasonings you like. You could use garlic powder, onion powder, kind of whatever your preference is really. Overall, I do have to say I'm a fan. I will be making this recipe again. Granted, now I have to go out and get some more chickpea flour, but I really did like the flavor of using the chickpea flour in combination with tapioca starch. If you're not following Ela Vegan yet on Instagram, definitely go follow her. Her recipes all look amazing. I'm really excited to try some more. And also, if you need some more recipes using chickpea flour, I've made a short playlist right here for you guys to check out. And don't forget to subscribe. I'm making new videos every week, bringing you vegan recipes and whole food plant-based recipes for you to make at home. And with that, let's eat plants, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.